Vaughn. Here with me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Summerout. Dennis, our open says it, the biggest games tonight. It is absolutely the biggest game we have seen in the state so far. The 4 seed in this bracket, the Muskego Warriors, making it all the way to the state semifinal to take on their arch rival, the 2 seed, the Mukwonago Indians. It doesn't get any bigger than this, right, Dennis?
No, it doesn't. Again, this is another matchup here. These teams have played 3 times in the last, I think, 5 years, twice in the playoffs and in the regular season. Mukwonago's got 3 of the last 4 games in this series, including 34-24 early in the season, when, unfortunately, for Muskego, they lost their stud running back, Jack Lavish. They lost 2 tight ends, and they also lost 2 offensive linemen in that game. 5 starters were out. That explains that little losing streak when they only scored 3 points in 2 weeks. That's insane. They've averaged 35 points a game for about the last decade, the highest scoring team in the Classic 8. Now they are back on track. They're relatively healthy. Mukwonago's got no problem, so they're bringing their A games tonight and next week, Camp Randall.
And Dennis, you mentioned being one of the highest scoring teams in the Classic 8. For our Madison listeners and viewers who are maybe not as initiated when it comes to the high school sports landscape, the Classic 8, it is the SEC of high school football in the state of Wisconsin. So to be the best scoring offense in that conference is, on its own, incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it is, and Muskego's doing it with the wing T. They used to be an offense a lot of teams used. Now they're spread. A lot of them are pass-happy. We have always talked about when you get to November, you better be able to run the football. Well, they can run it in February, they can run it in July, and they can run it in November. And Muskego is, we like to say, the natural running clock, because when they play, there's no incomplete passes. They've only attempted 5 passes in 3 playoff games, none in the first playoff win. So their plan is keep it close and let them just be able to run, and so far, so good this year.
For more than 50 years, Zimbrick Honda has provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles. The trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're in the market for a new Honda or a used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda in Madison today or online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Dennis, on the other side, the Mukwonago Indians. This was a squad who ended up finishing 3rd in the Classic 8 with a 5-2 conference record. They won this matchup, as you said, earlier on in the season with a 34-24 victory over Muskego, and they're rolling right now as the 2 seed.
Yeah, they're led by Mason Radabicki, their stud running back, returning All-State running back. He's only rushed for, 2,930 yards and 34 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. He's been phenomenal. As Coach calls him, he is our bell cow in a tailback offense, Coach Ganewak said. He fits the profile for who we are and what we do. And they love to run the football, but they've got a quarterback, another Mason Kelly. He also can run the ball. He's rushed for 720 yards, but he's also passed for 1,400. So for the 2 teams, Mukwonago's got a little bit more diversified offense. When they're down, they can come back. Muskego, when you want to run the football, if you get down by a couple touchdowns, then the clock becomes your enemy.
And, you mentioned that running ability for Mason Kelly. The first time these 2 teams played each other, he only threw the ball 3 times. He completed one of those passes for 8 yards. Otherwise, he ran for 159 yards on the ground. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will go over our keys to the game as well as have our coaches' profiles coming up next, as this is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcast.
Okay, I turned that off, so local should be off. There's no way to look at it.
Oops. And limit explosive plays, especially on the special teams.